Bring out your dad.
It's so big, Mr. Craig.
Why, thanks, Mr. Jason.
Mr. Craig, that's the biggest bell I've ever seen.
Well, some call it a bell curve.
Mr. Craig,
Mm-hmm.
who do we have today?
Oh, Mr. Jason, let me tell you, we have Mr. Miz. Masters Mega Millions Mentorship over money. Ramiz Hakim.
Well, it's a doozy, isn't it?
Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes Podcast.
Boom! Oh, that was out of sync.
That was out of sync.
Oh, yeah.
Ramiz.
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
Ramiz.
Perfect. How you doing, man?
Well, welcome.
I am great, guys. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to the conversation.
Oh, so are we. And so your friends call you Miz. So we're gonna call you Miz.
Awesome. Great.
Awesome. Cool, man. So tell us a little bit about
Whoa.
where you are now.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Beep.
I already
Back
did it.
The truck up. What are you doing, man?
I already did it.
You did it.
Craig,
You
what did I miss?
Watched it. The first question is, what was the first concert that you went to? And we're talking way back. As far back as you can go.
I look a lot older than my real age. And, so, and I grew up in church. So like my first concert was Casting Crowns, if you've ever even heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah. So that's when they were just like up and coming. This would have been in like 99 or 2000 or something like that.
Cool, man. I
Okay.
used to play in some tooth and nail bands, so I was in that scene.
There you go.
That's cool. That is cool. I like that one. So take us
Jason.
back, like what? Oh, gotcha. My
That's
I don't have
fun.
my mic on.
Yeah, it's all right. Take us way back. So take us back. You own North Star, right? Insurance Advisors.
Right.
Founded that. But take us back before that, and how in the heck did you end up in this industry, and why?
Well, I mean, I feel like my story really mimics a lot of the same people. Like nobody ever really grows up and thinks like, oh, I can't wait to get into debt and go to college and then be an insurance. So
Yeah.
I was in college and I was studying to be a minister or a teacher, and I just ran out of money. It just wasn't my time, and so I had to make money quick. My family was kind of counting on me to start providing in some ways. This would have been my mother and my brother, my siblings, and so always had a way with words. And so I thought to myself, man, I got to really get into sales. So my first job was in the insurance business, and as you know, in the insurance business, like everybody is always hiring. Well, I didn't know that. And so I'm like, dude, I am like the man. Everybody just wants to offer me a job. But so you jump around a couple times till you find a home, and eventually fell into final expense life insurance and did really well with face-to-face. Thought I could do it over the phone, and really the rest is history after that.
Final expense. That is a very difficult conversation at first, isn't it?
You know, a lot of people think that it is, except that when you're talking with a stranger, it's much easier than actually talking to your loved ones. And so it after a while, you just become kind of used to it, and your customers begin to mirror just the nonchalantness of, listen, let's just talk about this because you're gonna have to talk about it someday anyways. Why not with me? Why not right now?
I think a lot in our world, people, our staff has a hard time those first few conversations, just dipping their toe in the pool and having those conversations the first few times can be super difficult. How did you approach that? Like when you first got in, how did you was it easy for you?
Well, when you're broke, you'll do just about anything for money. So I don't have the most chiseled body, so that wasn't an option. So I really didn't have a choice, but I was very quickly able to identify that I could either not have the conversation and substitute short-term comfort for long-term discomfort, or just dive in and just have that awkward conversation, be uncomfortable for like 30 minutes so that the next 23 and a half hours I could like not worry. You know what I'm saying? And so either way, you're going to feel discomfort, especially if you're in sales. Like it is uncomfortable. So you just have to make a decision. You're going to be either uncomfortable right now and do this and make money, or feel comfortable, don't do it, and then be uncomfortable when you go home and your wife's looking at you like, all right, you told me this was supposed to work out. And behind on.
Come on, loser. Where's the money?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That doesn't ever work well. But and we are far faster to move to avoid pain, right? So it's the pain of this discomfort right now versus the discomfort, because I think there is no greater pain than the pain that my wife can inflict upon me.
Man,
no greater pain.
We must be married to the same woman.
It's remarkable the amount of fear that she can instill upon me.
Exactly.
She's so nice. Everybody else will say, "What are you talking about? She's so nice." Yeah, she is.
To
and
you.
I can say that. I can say that because I know she will never listen to this show.
And tell us the truth, would you?
Oh, she knows.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't know.
She just felt a disturbance in the force.
Oh, what were you saying, Craig?
Well, and so then from that, is this now still the specialty, or have you branched, and now what are we doing?
You know, I'm by nature, I'm a very unfocused person, and I think many entrepreneurs are. They have really quick stints of success, and then they jump to the next thing, and that's why a lot of people fail.
Yeah,
because it's not that they're not good or that they can't do it. They're just not disciplined or can really be focused. So I knew for us to sustain like a real business, we needed to be ultra focused. So we still sell final expense. We sell with one carrier. We sell one product. We sell it one way. And the whole process is streamlined so that all these other people who are like me don't go off into all these little rabbit trails. We just do it one way over the, I don't even know how to take an application face-to-face anymore. It's just over the phone.
I love that. I mean, I think so many independent, well, we're part of captives, but I think so many independent agents try to be that shopper.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean, for my brain, that would be very difficult for me because I would be hard for me to, because I would need a process for each route to go down. And I mean, that's so cool that you've just narrowed and streamlined it like that.
And Jason, where is the skill in being a shopper?
That's right.
Yeah.
Where's the skill?
Well, and think about who gets paid more in the marketplace. Is it the generalist or the specialist? Like
always the specialist.
Exactly. And so we have just found us specializing in this one really tiny niche in the industry. We've been able to be successful at it. And there's people that kind of dabble in it, but there's nobody that's really just dove in all the way to make it happen.
Do you know what they say is in the niches?
Riches?
The riches
That's
are
right.
in the niches. Yeah. It's true. One of the guys that we bring on that does a lot of video marketing, Todd Hartley, talks about that all the time.
Yeah.
The riches are in the niches. He actually says "ma," and then he uses another word at the end, but say that. We won't say that.
No.
We're rated G. So let's talk about that. So as you've scaled, I would assume at the beginning there was a little bit more chaos than there is now, right? And you develop these processes. How was that journey? What was that like when you realized, oh wow, this is crazy. We're getting good at it, but it's a mess.
Well, I grew up around entrepreneurs. My family immigrated here from Israel, and I grew up in the back of a restaurant. So my mother and my father, my grandparents, they were all in the restaurant business. And like I swore on my life, I would never own my own business because they were slaves to their business. Like they could not, everything revolved around their business. And so when I got into business, I knew like at a very young age, and I got in the insurance business when I was 20 years old, that I was not going to sacrifice my life, my time with my future family, my future wife, I just was not going to do that because I just saw what that did to my family. So as we began building this out, which by the way, I built it with my family, we knew very quickly that we needed to create the process, find a competent person, give them that responsibility, and then continue to build a system so that the business begins to serve us as opposed to us serving the business. And so now it's very, very self-sufficient. The business runs itself, and there's a management team that does all the work. And then, we just play figurehead and, just the statesman that walks through the office and says hi to people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to get there? And when did you open your agency? And tell us a little bit of the hurdles getting it to where you are now.
So we started selling over the phone in about, this would have been in 2008. And then in 2012, we sold out and joined a larger firm in St. Louis. And we moved our entire management staff from Dayton, Ohio to St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow.
In 2015, we bought out the owners and scaled it up very, very large from there. So now we are in a 120,000 square foot facility with 1,200 cubicles, everybody only selling final expense over the phone or playing a role in that process.
So, wow. There's no way that was easy.
It's easy. It's easy when you only are doing one thing. If I can create a lead, present, sell, and service, if I can do that, and then I find somebody who can create the lead, and then I find somebody who can make the sale, someone to close the sale, someone to service the sale, and that process works, then it's just about duplicating that process over and over again. And
what about even before that, when you took your team like that through that journey? That's incredible. You took your team to a whole different state, relocated them. You had to have a great relationship with your team to have those conversations and make that work.
Well, remember, most of them were my family at that time.
Okay.
So it wasn't that difficult because it was a decision. Although we did have many of our management staff who were not blood related to us, who we still counted as family, moved to St. Louis with us. But when you build a company that serves a higher purpose and that has a mission, those conversations aren't that difficult. Like it just falls, you just got to stick true to what those core values are. And as long as you don't compromise those, people will do anything for you and you would do anything for them. So when you're creating that team atmosphere, those tough decisions are actually the easiest ones. We spend more time talking about like, where do we place hand sanitizer around this place as opposed to how are we going to hire 100 people? You know what I mean? Like that stuff is the easy stuff. It's the little stuff that's like, who cares? Like, why are we still talking about this? That become cumbersome.
Yeah, culture, right? Culture is so important.
Yeah.
So building out that, but I do want to talk it to the process and how a little bit of that is done without maybe giving away all your secret sauce. But first, let's talk about the culture and sitting down and developing those core values, all of the things that make the organization what it is. How important is that? Because I think there's so many agencies that just run by the seat of their pants. It's chicken with a head cut off all day long, and those aren't going to scale. So how does that look? What things did you do to make that happen and really put the spotlight on that?
I mean, you live and die by your core values, and your core values can't be like, I'm just going to call them stupid ones, like honesty and integrity. Like, okay, McDonald's requires that. Like the guy that's making sandwiches has to be honest. And so that's not a core value. So our core values specifically spell out team, TEAM, trust, enthusiasm, advancement, and money. That means everyone that works in my organization has to trust me. I have to trust them. We have to trust the process. Everybody has to advance. You have to be getting better, either with your position or with your skill set. Everyone has to be enthusiastic. You have to have a contagious energy. So when you come into the office, everyone's happy and joyful. and then money. We think money is a good thing. Money is a tool that can be used for good things, and we should want more of that. Before you even step foot in my office, everyone is taking a predicted index, making sure that it's even worth our time to have an interview with them, because they have to fall in line with the core values. That's the prerequisite. Their previous accomplishment and current skill set comes second to those core values. So core values first, then the interview, and then we manage only based off of our core values. And so if someone's not hitting numbers, I don't approach them and say, hey, you're not hitting your sales quota for the month. It's, hey, I trusted you to follow through with the training, and now you're not doing that. Help me to understand that. Or, hey, you're not hitting your quota, and we have a standard of how much money you have to make at this company, and you're not hitting that bullseye. So help me understand how we're going to get you making the money that we promised each other we would be making here. So the conversation becomes almost third party-ish, because it's not holding you accountable. It's
right.
being accountable to what you agreed to before you started working here.
Yeah, it's not Darth Vader beating up the stormtrooper because he doesn't know how to shoot the gun the right way. It's like, hey, look, this is the way that we do it. You agreed on it. I agreed on it. And you set those expectations up front.
Correct.
How much easier is that conversation, right? Like it's a magnitude more powerful.
And I mean, the conversations, actually what happens is people begin to approach leadership and say, hey, I want you to know I let you down. And this is what I'm going to fix this. Because they know that it's coming anyways. Because to run an organization that's so streamlined, you have to have high standards. And so the people know, like when they're 1 minute, they could be not late for a whole year. If you're 1 minute late, someone's going to say something. Somebody is good. It's not going to be rude. It's not going to be inappropriate or pushy or micromanaging. It's going to be like, hey, I just want to check up on you because you didn't let me know you're going to be a little late today. Is everything okay? Okay, great. Everything's fine. Perfect. And that's it. I mean, that's the conversation. Just checking up on you. But they know it's coming. So typically what happens is they go to their leader and say, hey, I'm a minute late. Just want you to know I just had a flat, but I'm here now. Awesome, man. Let's get to work. Like those conversations happen every day. And it keeps everyone on the same page, and it cultivates that family environment that we feel like is really, really important to weather any kind of volatility that could take place within the industry, kind of like what we're dealing with right now.
Love it. So how is everybody, how are you approaching that in your office?
This has been, and I'm not trying to be, melodramatic here, but this has been the best thing that's happened to us.
Oh, for business wise?
Absolutely. We moved everybody out of our office. We have 8 locations, the largest one being in St. Louis. Within 48 hours, everybody, you're talking 350 people in total, moved to their homes. Leads continue to generate. Our lead cost plummeted because I have no competition right now. Customers have urgency. Customers see the need. They feel the need. They want to act now. And our people are on fire because they're working. And now there's no excuses like, oh, well, my kid's sick. I have to go pick them up from school. It's like, well, now your kid's at home too. So you might as well just put in a couple extra hours. So last week we broke a record. Yesterday we hit an all-time record for sales in a day. We've been very, very, very blessed to be in this specific market during this time.
And we've had this conversation with a few other people, and I have offline with a lot of other businesses, minus the horrible, all the horrible stuff that's happening. Minus that, the way this is going to change the landscape of business is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
And the way that people approach this, and just the way we handle things socially and through business. What do you see? I mean, are you going to maybe move more stuff remote here on out and move stuff more online?
I'm a micromanager by design. And so I although this is working really, really well, right now everybody's on house arrest, and not because I want them to be on house arrest, but because the government says you have to stay home. So it is working for us now. But for me to think to have that many people working from home, salespeople, like today's my first day working from home. I've taken 4 lunch breaks, and I don't even like bologna. So like, I don't even, there's just some people that they're just not made for that. Most of my people that are just heavily paid on commission, they want it to be conducive, but they know better. And so it's just in the grand scheme of things, we're going to go back to our call center model without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something about people being around each other that's, I mean, we have a tiny operation, but that same kind of call center type vibe, it's so infectious to be around. It's awesome.
It is. Especially every time someone gets a sale at the office, we have a bell that rings. So if you're one that's having a tough day, that bell begins to wear on you and irk you. And so you don't get that bell when you're at home. So
right.
there is some synergy that takes place when you put a lot of like-minded people working together that really helps compress time and energy and just gets people going forward much faster.
What are some Craig, you go. I know you got something.
I'm so curious about the training, how that looks, because there's such a big barrier to entry in this world. People have to get licensed and different things, regardless. And so if you don't have, especially at scale, if you don't have a really tight training process after that hiring process that also must be tight, then it can fall apart very easily. How have you micromanaged that, and what does it look like? Walk us through that.
Yeah, we use a program called Lightspeed VT. This is the program that many sales trainers use. So like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, all have courses on there. And it's designed for, I would call, gurus to put their content out there and then track people's progress. Well, we kind of repurpose that for our own purposes. So when they go through training, everything is video based, and me or somebody that is as good as me is the only trainer, and everyone trains at their own pace, and they cannot move on in training unless they've watched a video and then taken a quiz that shows that they are competent in that one aspect of training. And then that opens up the next section of training. So that's how everything goes like that. Within 3 days, we start role playing with each other. So we're overseeing people role playing. And then by the 5th day, we're actually on the phones pitching customers. So they're making money with us.
That's awesome.
That is very interesting. And
5 days.
A lot of carriers have things constantly change, right? How things are done or the systems. And so when you're approaching it from that, I guess yours is probably pretty consistent or doesn't change. Or
well, when you do $34 million with one carrier, you tell them what you want to change. They don't make any changes for us. They don't.
More leverage. There you go. More leverage from your standpoint because of being niched down.
Yeah, and that's not to say, I don't say that to brag, because there's many companies that are much larger than mine, but they spread their business over the course of 10 carriers. So they're writing 2 million here, 1 million here. And when they call for help, it's like, well, you're kind of a nobody with us. So no, we're not going to make this one exception for you. Well, when I have all my eggs in that one basket, they pretty much do. They do when they print a policy after I sell it, it has my address and my phone number for customer service, because I told them their customer service sucks, and they made it's harder to change my bank account and make payments than it was to cancel my policy. And that just doesn't make sense to me.
Whoa.
You know?
Yeah.
The customer were calling to cancel and they'd bend over backwards to help them, but the customer would have changed bank accounts and we had to fax over forms. So we told them, hey, listen, just put my phone number on there, put our address. Let us handle all your customer service stuff. They loved it because they don't have to train or recruit or hire people. And then we get to actually conserve our business as opposed to helping people cancel. So that one carrier relationship has been a really big key in this, because we were able to get away with a lot of stuff that most carriers would not allow for.
That's so cool, man. I love that. So what would you say would be, I mean, going through this process, especially scaling to the size that you are now, what are some of the best pieces of advice that you've gotten along your way that's really helped take you to that next level?
Um, oh man, the best pieces of advice. So I think for me, I've kind of sectioned off our journey into really 4 phases. The first phase is where you're the worker. You know, I was the one doing all the work. Then I became the watchman. So I actually thought I had a business, and I was watching all my workers, and I actually made less money when I was doing that. Then I thought, well, let me just hire some more people. And I became the whipping boy because nobody knew what was going on. Okay? So through that worker, watchman, whipping boy, I finally came to the conclusion that I wanted to be hands off. I wanted this thing to run itself. And that's, even though we had that purpose from the beginning, we've never seen this modeled before, especially in the insurance business, especially in my space, where most people have they think that they should go out and go shopping for their clients and find the cheapest rates and find, the best plan according to what they think the customer wants. And so we've never seen something modeled on the life insurance side where I'm going in with one offer like that. So when we were able to finally, because there wasn't really a mentor for us, there really wasn't a mentor, there's literally nobody doing it. We stuck to our guns and created a process. And now I tell everyone that I'm in the wizardry phase right now, where I just get to watch magic happen. I mean, I get to see people show up to work and embrace each other and love each other and enjoy each other's company. And we get to do good things for the community, and we get to help each other. And we get to just take someone that's kind of down on their luck and give them an opportunity, show them how they can make 70 or 80 grand their first year realistically. To me, that's magical, man. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is all about, is how do you create magic? Because I think too many people haven't really seen that kind of entrepreneurship modeled or executed. So we just all have this preconceived notion that I have to be a slave to my business, and you don't have to be a slave to your business. Your business should be a slave to you. My business bows down to me. I don't bow down for my business, which is extremely liberating. But I wish I would have thought about that much earlier, which I feel like I did, but because we were so ultra focused on it, it's become much more magical than I could have ever really thought about. And so the biggest thing that I can take away, and I'm not even sure where we came up with this along the way, but we have always said we need to put our people before profits. Put our people before profits. And we've kind of stuck to that. Even when it was tight and rough, we always took care of our people. We've never laid off anybody. Of course, we fired people, but that's their fault, not mine. But we've never had to do mass layoffs or furlough people, because we've always put them before us. And that's paid us dividends. You can't watch that on a P&L. Those numbers don't make sense. I can just tell you magic happens when your people come first, and they will help you grow your business. You don't have to do it all on your own. They will become evangelical for your cause because they really enjoy working for you. And we've been able to do that. And because of that, there's nothing that we're worried about, the volatility in the market or the uncertainty or regulation, any of that stuff, because my people are going to bob and weave according to what we say, and they'll do so joyfully because they know we have their best interest in mind.
That's awesome. It seems like insurance agents or agency owners by nature are people pleasers, right? We want to make people happy. And for some reason, and maybe it's part of the culture of this country, where more is better, right? So if you're an independent, you're of the mindset, I need 1 million carriers so I can offer them so many options. If you're captive like us, instead of embracing that captivity, we get pulled in so many directions, and we'll say, oh, well, I need to do commercial over here, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. When instead, if you just focused on the home and the auto, or the home, auto, and life, you would maximize your payout, right? Your grids, or whatever they're called, with whom you're at. And I don't know. It's just a fascinating dynamic here. How you said, no, I have the opportunity where I could serve people in all different sorts of ways, but here's this niche, and we're going to go after it that way. And I think that a lot of the independents, or I'm sorry, well, any of the agents that are listening to this, that's a huge takeaway where they can really hone in and focus, especially as ADD as we are, as evidenced by how I'm talking right now.
Well, the insurance business is always the lagger. Like if you watch other industries, they're progressing, they're getting better with technology, and we're still taking paper apps and having people delivering cash to our office, maybe you guys. And so
yes, ordered to do that.
Yeah. So that's just a very archaic way of doing business. And so my words of advice for anybody, whether you're captive or independent, is find a process that works and stick with the process. Like just follow through with the process. If we were to go open up like a fast food restaurant, okay, if we were to all go into business, like think about how many fast food restaurants that are mom and pop, like McDonald's does not have the best hamburger, the juiciest, most tasty hamburger, or the best French fries. What they have is the best system. And that's why you do not see McDonald's shutting down, because the system duplicates itself. People don't go there for the food. They go there for the system. Well, much in the same way, any business can run that way. If you're efficient and streamlined, you put the customers first, they're taken care of, you're going above and beyond to service them, price comes second to that. They're more interested in enjoying the fruits of this process that's taking care of me, as opposed to what is this going to cost me. My product that I sell is more expensive than probably 80% of the life insurance, final expense policies in the market. People used to make fun of us. I mean, for most of our tenure, we were like the laughing stock of the industry. What do you mean you only have one carrier? Oh, that carrier is horrible. You're selling an overpriced policy. Why are you doing it over the phone? You're going to have a high chargeback rate. And that's all we heard from everybody. But see, nobody was doing it. And so no one knew any better. And we just kept, I don't know, maybe we're just idiots and just stumbled across it. I'm not exactly sure. We just knew there had to be a better way. And so we just stuck with our guns. Maybe
you got consistency. I mean, to your point, McDonald's is shitty. I haven't gone to a McDonald's in 10 years, right? But if I went there, I know that Big Mac is going to taste exactly the same way that it was. And if there's some reason that I want that, I mean, I know what I'm going to get. And that's what people really like is like, hey, look, at least I know what I'm getting. And it's $1. Right?
You don't like their Egg McMuffins?
Dude, I can't eat that stuff.
They're so good.
I look at food and I already get bigger, so I can't eat that. Make my heart explode. But the consistency, Yeah. I mean, that's what we're lacking in this whole people pleaser mentality is, well, they said that I needed to do this, so I go do this and then they're the slave to the business instead of, oh no, that isn't, sorry, but that isn't how it's done here. Let me explain how it is done.
That's right.
Walking through that. Like you can't go to McDonald's and say, hey, I want the sushi. No, we don't have the sushi, right? We have this really crappy Big Mac, and this is what you're going to get for your $1, right? I mean,
you don't like a Big Mac?
No, get it away from me.
Oh, but did you like it back in the day?
I like a chicken burrito right here.
There you go.
Pollo asada.
That's funny. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of agents that reach out to you for advice. What do you, what's the best piece of advice that you could give somebody that's new in the industry that you think they need to hear coming into it?
Love advice questions.
Yeah. Pick the mentor over the money. Don't find who's paying you the most. Find the guy that's done it and follow him. And we'll do that backwards most of the time.
Love it. That is a great one.
Take Russell Brunson, who has created the system to do the things for everybody. And he doesn't talk about, here's the new thing. Just model what that guy's doing. I mean, he uses the term model instead of copy, but at the end of the day, it's like, look, everything's been thought of and everything's been invented.
That's right.
You're not creating something new by repackaging or whatever. Just model something out there.
That's right. Exactly.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much. I mean, this has been awesome. I love your acronym too. I might have to steal that. That's so good.
No, you're going to model it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, model it.
Yeah, there you go.
Model that. run through the what the letters stand for again, because I think that's really is going to be a huge takeaway. We might throw that in the show notes.
Yeah, trust, enthusiasm, advancement, and money. People have to I have to trust my employees. They have to trust me. We have to trust the process. Advancement, we need to be getting better, either with our position through promotions or through our skill set. I'm sorry, I spelled them wrong. T and then E, which is enthusiasm, contagious energy. You have to be happy to show up to work. Okay. A, advancement, getting better, whether you're with your job, growing with the company or your skill set. And then money. Money is a good thing. It can be used for good things. We should want more of it. And those concepts are integrated within the aesthetics of the office. And so not only is it something we live by and something that we do, we don't have like a poster that just says team. It's like everywhere. Like my training room is called the advancement zone. My conference room is called the money room. So everything it's all integrated within our facility. So you can't find a corner and not be reminded of one of our 4 core values.
Love it. It follows in that pillar.
That's right.
So cool.
Let's say there's an agent that doesn't do this because this isn't their specialty. How are they going to find you?
You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/NorthstarIA or NorthstarIA.com.
There it is. We'll put that in the show notes.
Ms. Awesome advice.
Mizzy was in the hizzy.
It was fun, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining the Insurance Dudes. Thanks again, man.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, you've got to check out the Insurance Dudes Inner Circle coming soon, where you get extended interviews as well as live coffee talks in our private Facebook group. Join the mailing list today at theinsurancedudespodcast.com. Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.